When you see the conventional interior design, as architect and interior design, we mostly focus on the design principles like symmetry, balance, rhythm, so on and so. And also we integrate the functionality and aesthetics, right? In green interiors, which touch slightly higher, we also emphasis on the deep commitment towards environment. The very, very important concepts in the environment include the materials that we use that should be softer on the Mother Earth. The second one is energy efficient interiors. The third one is a concern for people, which we live in our interiors home, so we should have a concern for people also, which talks about indoor air quality. The fourth one is water use optimization. They're the best four top categories. There are so many other categories also there. Like, we do not ignore the subjects. Say, for example, in a school, we will not fail in one of subjects and achieve 100% in 6 subjects, right? We should pass in all 7 subjects in order to achieve a higher level. Similarly, we should have a holistic approach towards achieving green. So that is our aim. Let's see each in detail. When we talk about the materials that are soft on Mother Earth, we talk about conventionally we used to select high embodied energy materials. We used to spend a lot of transportation in procuring materials. We used to import the materials. Similarly, we used to have high dependence of virgin building materials. When you procure timber, tiles, plywoods, laminates, veneers, the timber like oaks, teaks, sycamores, beechwoods, they all have high virgin material, building materials. We put a lot of dependency on them. Whereas in green interiors, we select the same materials. However, we put a lot of emphasis on the recycled content and reusable materials. Like, if you see the tiles only, we select tiles which have recycled content. If it's a plywood, we see that they should have a recycled content like MDF, which has already got 30 to 40% recycled content. If it's a concrete, we select concrete with fly ash materials. Similarly, when you talk about ceiling, you go for a gypsum ceiling, which has already got a recycled content to 20 to 35%. Already the industrial recycled content is always there. That's why when we select all these materials, we actually have to use some emphasis for this recycled content material so that we will not put very high dependence on virgin materials. We should lessen the dependence on these virgin building materials. Some of the examples include some of the projects actually reused bottles for the vertical landscaping. Similarly, they're going for reused some bottles for the partition, interior partitions. And the innovations in the lighting also takes place for a decorative lighting. If you want in dining spaces or living spaces, it actually has a very, very high value. We are actually increasing the value of, normally it is not, it is a waste for some others, whereas we are actually increasing the life of its materials. That is the objective of recycled. One more important thing in interiors is we use a lot of wood materials, timber ceilings, paneling, etc. When you see, that is actually, if you see the new wood applications, we are actually destroying forests. In the morning also I heard about from the Minister from himself, that if you see the statistics from Forest Survey of India, between 2009 and 2011, we lost almost 387 square kilometers of forest land. That actually puts responsibility that we need to restore the forest land and should not put any extra dependence on them. That's why in green interiors, we stress on having composite wood if you are using any wood applications. Or you can prefer certified wood, which is normally certified by the local forest departments. Otherwise, you can also procure salvaged building materials, which you can get from the second-hand market. Normally, they are actually donated or maybe sold by some parties. You can actually go and select source materials and increase the life of that particular materials by refurbishing that soul. I will show some examples on this also. The fourth category talks about the rapidly renewable materials. When you have wood applications, the best rapidly renewable materials you can think of is the bamboo, which actually you can harvest in the cycle of 3 to 5 years time. If you take the teak, Burma teak, it takes roughly 25 to 30 years to grow to the maturity level. Similarly, when you take the white beech, the sycamore, they takes roughly 20 to 25 years to get maturity level. If it is an oak, it takes 120 years to go to maturity level. That means If it's a bamboo, it hardly takes 3 to 5 years. If it's eucalyptus, it hardly takes 10 years to grow to maturity level. That is actually, we are recommending to use rapidly instead of teaks. These are some of the excellent examples of salvage building materials. 5 years down the line, you've seen nobody used to have the second-hand market materials. Even you insist, the clients never used to have second-hand market in their homes, new homes. Whereas some of the clients like Avani Residence, it's IGBC Platinum building in Hyderabad, they actually, the owner and the architects insist on going for a second-hand market materials. They source the materials like timber and some of the materials for their staircase railings and the main entrance door. It costs roughly around 10 to 12 lakhs, but it is not the money. But instead of sourcing in new wood, they actually preferred second-hand market. Similarly, the other project, which is Vishwashamalam, this project is in Chennai, which is once again a IGBC Platinum building. The owner do not spend any money on this. I just use a packing wood for its main entrance gate. That itself speaks about the worth of the salvage materials. The second category in green interiors is the energy efficient. Conventionally, if you see, the lighting design, we actually select normally the tube lights, T12 tube lights in our homes. It actually comes to 0.4 to 0.5 watt per square feet when you calculate. Say, for example, you take a 100 square feet of a room. We use T12, right? It actually has 55 watt capacity. Okay? When you compare the same with the green interiors, we talk about just replacing the tube with a T5, which consumes around 26 watt. The lux level is the same, whereas it actually decreases your consumption by 50%. What Mr. Saxena was talking about the same thing. I'm just putting in this change in the perspective. It doesn't cost much. It may be costing maybe roughly around 20%, 30%, whereas the life cycle cost will actually improve. It actually, the bulbs actually is 3 times better than the normal T12 tube light. We'll see details. When in the usual case, we actually selected incandescent bulbs, the fluorescent bulbs, the T12, which has high mercury content. If you see the bulb very closely, the mercury content is very indicated, Hg. That means the bulb carries mercury. That's why in interiors, we stress on having no mercury at all, which is very dangerous to humans. So we insist on going for a CFLs. CFLs are roughly around 7,000 to 8,000 hours it gives. LEDs, 1 lakh hours, uncomparable. T5s and T8s, they are superior than a normal tube light. So we insist on going for your homes, if you are replacing any tube light, please prefer to have T5s and T8s, a minimum. And one of the green homes, which is actually 100% LED, we think of is the Vishwashamalam, is in Chennai once again. They have used LEDs all over the places, including living spaces like living room, bedrooms, kitchen, everywhere they use only LED. Of course, we think of LED is very costly, but this home has just considered LPD of 1 watt per square feet. It's almost 90% efficient than any other home. We think of the home appliances. Just now, Mr. Saxena told about the home appliances that they should be 30% efficiency. Whereas if you see conventionally, most of the home appliances are very high energy guzzlers. Whereas government of India has come up the BE star rating. They come up with a rating which actually gives you an option that any common man can go to any showroom and just pick a star rating equipment. It is more than 20 to 30% than efficient than any normal appliances. That is a very, very great initiative by government. Just for example, take example of air conditioner. If you see here, the 1-star and 5-star if we compare, the cooling capacity is almost double for a 5-star. When you see the efficiency, the power consumption, it is almost similar, very, very close similar. It is 996 for the 1-star, whereas it is just 1,128 for the 5-star. That means for almost double cooling capacity, still the consumption is very less. That actually, the BE actually is given a very, very different objective for us, and also a very easy option to select for even for a common man. That is actually a great initiative. We should appreciate the government towards this step. And the very, very important and very easy concept is the daylighting. By orientation of a building or by best selection of a window orientation, you can achieve this daylighting to your living spaces. By doing this, almost 50 to 60% of your lighting during the daytime can be saved. There is no, lights during the daytime, no artificial lights during the daytime. It's only natural light into living spaces. That is our objective. And most of our green homes have been achieving more than 75 to 80% in their living spaces. And there's one more important innovation happened in energy is the sun pipe. Some homes may be having dark spaces in the living spaces, some living spaces. So they should have a permanent solution. What is the solution? That is a sun pipe. It is a pipe which captures the light from outside and takes into your dark spaces, wherever it is. You can just take into basements, how much depth, no issues at all. Still, you can achieve the lighting, permanent lighting. It is happened in first 5 years ago in Vishwashamalam. It is a aluminum pipe of 1 feet to 1.5 feet diameter. It is a completely have reflectors inside, continuous reflectors. Once it captures the light from outside, it takes to inside. Let's see some of the pictures here. From exterior, it looks like this. From interior, it looks something like a huge light. In the basements, you can draw the light. It costs roughly around 12,000 rupees for a 4 feet length. It's only one-time investment. Lifelong, till the sun is there, you will end up, you do not have any problems with the light during the daytime. That is the advantage of this one. And all the homes, it is clicked with this option. If you see factories, 80% factories use this one because they got a huge depth, so sun pipe is the best solution instead of going for artificial lights. And of course, the third category is the concerned people. Conventionally, kitchen and toilets are the neglected areas with respect to indoor air quality. Because if you notice very carefully, in your kitchen, we do cooking a lot of time, burning, we use a lot of oils. They actually the result of carbon deposits in our wall. If you see around the exhaust fan, you see black spots. They're all carbon deposits. Without knowing, also we inhale sometimes. So that is actually the result for infections. In green interiors, we insist on having excellent exhaust systems. But as a thumb rule, for 100 square feet of kitchen area, you should have minimum 100 CFM of exhaust fan system. For the toilets, you should have 50 CFM for 100 square feet of area. These are the thumb rules you should follow if you are designing your home. Then in case it actually brings healthy and well-being of your occupants. You should care for our people. One more very important concept that comes to mind is the paints. Conventionally, if you see, the painter used to select the paint, right? What it actually does, he actually selects the very cheapest paint or go for a very nearest vendor, right? And of course, you cannot occupy this home the next day. You should wait for 2 weeks or 3 weeks before entering into house, right? Because the smells should be gone out, then only you'll be able to enter into a home. Whereas in green interiors, you can enter your home the next day because you use odorless paints, no smell at all. And also, there is no harmful to the people, occupants of the home. And also, these paints are selected very carefully with having certain low volatile organic compounds which have some certain limits. We actually prescribe to have 50 to 100 grams per liter for a best paint can be selected. Hence, when you select any paint, please look for these things on your paint cans. And other things is the air purifier. How do you freshen your rooms? We use normally the sprays, the fresheners to clean our rooms, right? Once you lock the room for 1 day, you come up, you'll be having a very stuck up, right? So instead of having in green interiors, we actually design in such a way that we bring the plants from outdoor to indoors to naturally purify our indoors. Some of the excellent plants we actually come across first is the Areca palm, which is the best air purifier. And also it cleans the air naturally. The second plant is the snake plant, which removes the nitrogen oxides present in the atmosphere. Also, it absorbs some of the formaldehydes. And third plant, which actually I hope definitely that everyone will be having in their home, is the money plant, which is the best air purifier known. I would recommend that some of you do not have this plant, definitely should bring to in your homes indoors that these are the best options for air purifiers instead of artificial air purifiers. And the fourth concept in the indoor quality is cross ventilation. Often, when you design our homes, we insist on having only one window on one orientation, other 3 walls left for the stories. We also insist that we want more stories. Whereas in green interiors, we insist that you should have openings in at least 2 faces. Why? naturally, it actually, all the rooms get flushed by the natural ventilation. It actually helps the occupants to have healthy breathing spaces. That's why green homes are very healthy and the well-being of the occupants are taken care. If you see this, this plan layout here, all the drawing, living cum dining and the kitchen are having two orientations. If you see the bedroom, which is in red, that has got only one orientation of window. So that is not meeting the cross ventilation criteria, whereas other areas are meeting the cross ventilation. Also, one more important thing is these windows should be exposed to exteriors, natural exteriors, instead of lift lobbies. That should be, should take care of that one. We should take care of the fourth category is the water use optimization. When you see the conventionally, we used to high dependence on the municipal water supply. We use showers, rain showers, we use regular taps, so on and so. Whereas in green interiors, we talk about low flow fixtures. That actually brings to 20 to 30% an average savings. Or that means they decrease the consumption by 20 to 30% on average. What do? We just alter the flow rates. We actually, the best practice in a water efficiency is you should have a tap, a faucet, a kitchen sink tap or a shower should have a limit of 8 to 10 liters per minute is actually considered the best. And it is as per Uniform Plumbing Code of India. And how do you alter it? Earlier it is very tough, as Mr. Saxena was saying about the, Mr. Shema was saying about the aerator, small, very, very efficient thing, which is just fitted to the tip of the tap. It actually enormously reduces your consumption by over 50 to 60%. Can you believe it? And if you see, there are some of the aerator pictures below. There are different colors. They actually, depending on the colors, the efficiency will be altered. One more area where you can actually decrease is the low flow fluxes. Conventionally, if you see the cistern, it takes one flush, 12 liters gone. Whereas now, we can talking about dual flush cisterns. Every plumbing or every toilet fixture is coming with dual flush only. That has actually happened with the market transformation of IGBC, which is doing since 3 to 5 years from now. So if you see here, we are going for a 3x6, 3 is for a smaller flush, 6 liters for a larger flush. We are almost saving 50%, 50 liters for 50% for each person in a home. That means if you take every family in a room, family in a flat, you're almost saving 30 to 40% very easily by selecting low flow fixtures. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, these aerators are small in size, whereas big in savings. So I insist, these aerators do not cost much, just 4 rupees a piece. 4 rupees a piece. If you can install your taps, the tip of the taps, you can say the consumption is altered by 20 to 30% very easily. So to sum up, the tangible benefits of green interiors are many. First, the energy efficiency savings, if you take, it is around 40 to 50% because of light fixtures and other concepts. The water savings can be bring down to 20 to 30% by low flow fixtures, and it has also got intangible benefits. One, it's better health of the people, and quality of the people inside our homes will be almost improves automatically. And also to the owner, it is a saving.